there are more women who are willing to look at their dream and say, I can do it. Because when you make a decision that you can do it, your hope will come. I'm Alice Tang, the host of Women's $1 Million Conversation. Today, I'm sitting in a studio interviewing one of my best champion, Laura Salerno Owens, my good friend, my comrade, and my confidence. A lot of you heard about Women's $1 Million Conversation. We are here to create a lot of role models for our audience, women audience, to relate to so that they too can reach their million. Welcome, Laura.
Thank you so much. And Alex, I'm very excited that we are now flipping the script because you've now interviewed over 60 women, I believe, on this podcast, but I don't know that anyone's interviewed you.
I haven't had the pleasure yet.
Well, and, I'm a lawyer by training, so are you ready for your cross-examination?
I can try because I didn't know wrong.
That's what they all say. No, actually, I'm really excited to talk to you, Alice, because on this podcast and on this project, you've profiled so many women who've inspired others, but I don't think it's an overstatement to say that you have been an inspiration for so many. So I'm really excited to have this opportunity to ask you some questions. So I will request permission to treat the witness as friendly. And let's dive in. Alice, I am curious for you, particularly someone who has a background in financial services and is an expert with money, how has the value of money changed for you as you now are in a different season of your life?
It has always been for my security. So having a lot of money or having the ability to accumulate money is really giving me a peace of mind so that I can sleep in nighttime. But even with that, I may not be able to sleep because what is enough?
Oh, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
So in the past year, I had somewhat, I called an immobility event. It's only 13 weeks. I struggled to walk because one of my foot had a bone spur, and then I have a lot of things that cause the foot to be swollen. So money is there. And there, about earlier part of this year, I think you are actually an inspiration to me. You have shown me the book, Die with Zero. And the book talk about the harmony amount, time, health, and money. So being a financial advisor, of course, we map out, is there enough? But when there is enough, people still continue to accumulate. Not that it's a bad thing, but when are we going to leverage this money, what we call a tool, to maximize our life experience, knowing that we don't always have the time. Our loved ones not necessarily always have the time. Even I live long until I age 100 person. Mm-hmm. And how about my health?
Yeah.
My today's health is different from the health in my 20s. Mm-hmm. I'm not climbing the Himalayas, and I'm afraid of height, so.
But I do love that concept in Die with Zero that basically is when is enough. And I also appreciated that the foreword in that book says, listen, if you're someone who's living paycheck to paycheck, this book isn't for you. And I appreciate that recognition that having financial stability does give you a bit of freedom. And so I'm curious that for you, when you felt that you had this financial freedom or this stability, how has that now impacted your choices?
It's like what I call a light switch. If you remember, it's not like these days like pop up.
The clapper.
Or my phone. On and off is really the switch. So having the switch in our hand means I have 100% complete control of my staying and going. Staying means I continue to do what I want to do because I love it.
Yeah.
But going might not mean anything for no reason or some reason. I have to take a break for my family. I have to take a break for my 13-week healing of my food and many other things. And I might really conquer my fear and climb the Himalayas. So,
well, and I think that analogy of mountain climbing, particularly here in the Northwest, is a helpful one. And something I think about with when you're climbing a mountain or going on a journey is the concept of having the security to let certain things go so the journey is not so heavy. And I'm curious, in this stage of your life, what do you feel like maybe you've had to shed to open things up in the next chapter?
For me, you can call me very competitive. Like you, I love to win.
Isn't it the best?
Yes. At the same time, I think it's more about catching up with the Jones. Mm-hmm. So the simple example is if Laura has bought 2 homes mm-hmm. and pay for it, I want to be there. Mm. Laura has done this. I want to be there. But is this good for me? Mm-hmm. Am I doing it for me, really? Or am I doing it for Laura? So if it's doing it for me, if I really love to have 2 homes, go ahead, do that.
Right.
But knowing me, I don't even want to maintain my personal 1 home. Buying 2 homes and have to, make sure that the things are being done, landscaping and everything. It's not my cup of tea. It may be a cup of tea for somebody else. So living somebody else perceived perfect life is what I want to shed.
I think that is really powerful. Sometimes I find myself saying they, like what would they think or what would they say? And then you have to pause and be like, who's the they? And why am I living my life for they? Why am I buying a second house for they? So, we've been talking about money and legacy, and, the book Die with Zero is very big on different types of wealth. And I think one of the ways you can be the most rich is to practice gratitude. And so I'm curious for you, what is something that you're really grateful for?
Now I'm a woman, I can change my mind.
Obviously.
So today, what I'm grateful for is I wake up, I could walk. I could do my daily routine, including talking to my divine, and I can dress myself up. I drive myself here. That means I'm breathing oxygen. Mm-hmm. And I get to meet with the team who is behind the scene. And then you arrived, mm-hmm. and then we had this conversation. I'm most grateful for the ability to still breathing oxygen and have good friends like you who believe in what I said. You took it and run. You were my first guest.
And I was very grateful to be your first guest and extremely grateful for these relationships, which I think is the cornerstone of this project and what you're doing.
Yes. Let's get more women to be in our $1 million mountaintop, because the top is flat. Mm-hmm. It's not like you get there, I lost my position. No. We fight for each other in the room when one of us is not in there.
That makes me wonder, if you were to be sitting down with a friend or a younger person and giving them some advice on how they could build financial freedom with intentionality, what's some advice you would give to them?
First, I say, know what you want, your desired dreams, and have a very good clarity of it. Think about it. How do you want it to look like, sound like, and feel like? From then, I'm bold to say that majority of the things we want in life is having a direct or indirect relationship with money. So find out the number to take you there. And now life will flow us curveballs after curveballs. Challenges happen. When you're at a crossroad, you don't know what to do. Go back to that vision and ask yourself, will making this decision, doing this action or reaction, help me to get to my desire or my dream? Would that be helpful?
Yeah, I think it would. And, one thing you mentioned was this concept of curveballs,
Yes.
which that's life in a nutshell, right? So I'm curious to know for you, what struggles have you had to overcome or obstacles or lessons have you learned? Like what have been some of those curveballs for you?
My age and my brought up, majority of those curveballs is how people perceive me. So I think there is a saying called societal pressure. Mm-hmm. You need to go along with the group. I still do a lot of that, but I do ask myself, given the fact that I know time and health is not permanent, it could be taken away any time. The decision I make, if I'm not honoring what I want, will that be at the expense of the balance of time and health that I have for me and for my loved ones? After all, what money do is to buy time. Time with our loved one. Time to do things I want to do.
I completely agree. I think time wealth is one of the most undervalued forms of wealth. And I couldn't agree more with that.
Yes, totally. Because how much time do you have? Do I have? I don't know.
Well, one thing you say that I think is so impactful is that we all have the same amount of time, and you have it down to the hours. What is it? Is it like 168 hours a week or something?
Yes, that's right. That's right.
We all have the same set amount of hours, but what do we do with it? How do we use it?
Exactly. And when you look back on a daily basis, only if we do, sometimes we're just too busy, especially for a successful mom like yourself. I mean, a super career woman. You don't sit down and think about what have you done, but you think about, what have I done today?
Yeah. Yeah. I do think that is one thing to kind of keep in the conversation, right, is time wealth and other forms of wealth. So I'm curious, you now have set on this project. As I said earlier, you've talked to over 60 women who have hit this milestone of $1 million saved, sold, or earned in 1 year. And other than mine, because I know that'd be the obvious answer, but what is the most memorable moment or interview from this project for you?
So of course, other than Laura's, today I thought about Pamela Mack. It's nothing to do with money, but life is full of challenges we just talked about. In the darkest time or the most challenging time, sometimes you felt it's so hard to bear. Can I even move one step more? Consider it a blessing that you can still feel it. Because only for those who are still breathing oxygen, who's trying to make life happen for herself and her family, is able to feel the pain and the challenge. The alternative is, no, you're up there.
It's such a good point. I think sometimes we fall in the trap of wanting everything to be good. We label it, this is good, this is bad. But often we don't know what is good or bad until things come to pass. And I think you're right. Being able to feel that and go through that journey means, to your point, we're still alive.
Well, it's a precious moment today. Think about how busy we are. We choose to square away some time to sit down and have this conversation. You could be helping 3 clients, but you're not. You see, this is important.
Yeah. Well, it's
me too.
It's community building, and I think that for me it makes me wonder, when you think about the future of this project, what does that look like for you?
Well, let's talk about the present, and then we can go to the future. The present is like if everybody can imagine that these guests that we have interviewed at Women's $1 Million Conversation are standing up at the top of a $1 million mountain. They all saved, earned, and made $1 million. That's where they share their insight, their skills, and their tips with the people who's looking up at this guest, this mentor, and say, I want to get to where you are at. I can relate to you. Tell me how. So that's the 1.0 version. The 2.0 version is all of us are still standing on the top of this $1 million mountain, but we are carrying a set of ropes. We said, I'm flowing down the ropes. Who has a burning desire in their mind to get to her same mountain of $1 million? Grab onto the rope. I'm pulling you up. And that's how I have the pleasure to partner with you. We are talking about mentors and mentees, and it's really about micro-mentoring.
Yeah. The things that you've talked about with micro-mentoring, you know, the 15 minutes of time, I think that's been so impactful because when we all are so busy, sometimes it feels like an hour coffee or whatever it might be, it's too much. But to your point, sometimes all you need is 15 minutes and it can make a huge difference. And so given all of that, given that you've already talked over 60 women, you're arming us with ropes and we're throwing them down, I want to close on a vision. I want to know for you, what's the legacy that you hope to create and to leave with this project?
There are more women who are willing to look at their dream and say, I can do it. Because when you make a decision that you can do it, your hope will come. Everything lands. It's when we are wishy-washy. Do I want it or do I not? Oh, maybe I'm not that good. Maybe it will take me 1,000,000 years. Maybe I'm never going to retire. Maybe I have to work like 60 hours, 80 hours, which I had been, for the rest of my life in order to make ends meet. No. The magic happens inside you. Make that decision. There are a lot of these mentors at Women's $1 Million Conversations and in the community who's willing to give you that 15 minutes of advice. Just make a decision and go ask.
Well, thank you so much, Alice. This has been so fun, and I hope you enjoyed being in the hot seat.
It's really hot.
Well, that's just you. But thanks so much. It was wonderful chatting with you.
Thank you, Laura.